Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Hello and welcome back to Big Mouth, and you can keep this or any other conversation I ignite over on my Twitter at Movies TV Mad, my Vero at Big Mouth 1, and the extension to this channel is my Instagram, kind of Big Mouth 1111289. Hello and welcome to Sunday's very exciting edition of the DCEU Daily, and today I have got exclusive news just fed to me, and no one's going to be talking about this for months and months, and when they are, it's going to be like the Flashpoint news for the Flash movie. You're going to say, that weirdo who gets about 50 views on his videos was right. How does he do it? He's not a big-time YouTuber. Never you mind. So exclusive. Henry Cavill will come back to play Superman in Black Adam and Shazam 2. This is officially going to happen. And as I said before, no one's going to confirm this for you for a very, very long time. But guys and girls, this is the absolute truth. The absolute truth. Henry Cavill will reprise his role as Clark Kent and Superman in Black Adam and Shazam 2. And of course, this is very, very exciting. This has been a very long journey for us Superman fans, and it's part of fixing what went wrong with the Justice League movie. This has everything to do with the Release the Snyder Cut campaign. It absolutely does, because we've been waiting for Superman to come back like the Superman we loved in Man of Steel and BVS, right, for a very long time. Now, obviously, there will be a slight course correction with Superman, because Superman has a lot of fans. Superman is loved by millions and millions and millions around the world, and they all think they know who and what Superman should be. So Superman isn't just for the DCEU Snyder fans, it's for everyone. And I go beyond being a DCEU Snyder fan, which I am. I love MOS and BVS, as you all know, so that's not in contention here. But what I'm saying is Superman is for all his fans. He must be all things to all people, and that's difficult. How do you get him right? Many people think he should be like the Christopher Reeve Superman. I don't think he has to be stringently like Chris's Superman. I think Chris's Superman ticks a lot of boxes for a lot of people. There's no question about that. But ultimately, I think you know Henry's version is absolutely phenomenal, and probably a more awesome modern. Like Reeve's version was great for that modern era back then in the 80s, and I was growing up then, so I remember it very well. We all loved Chris's Superman. Even in the calamitous Superman for the Quest for Peace, I can still watch that film and enjoy Chris's Superman and Clark Kent. He gives a fantastic performance in a film that doesn't deserve anything from its actors because it's that bad. But Christopher Reeve was amazing. And Henry Cavill is the Superman for this generation. Now, members of this generation may not appreciate him, but I think when they look back at his two performances and the way he was written and directed by Zack Snyder, I think you'll kind of agree in the end that actually this is a great Superman for our generation. So are you excited yet? Him standing toe-to-toe in Black Adam alongside Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I think it's very, very... My favourite word, Ross, is you always say the word exciting. Well, I'm always excited. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I love doing these videos. I think it's a privilege to be able to stand here. I mean, sit here. Sorry, I'm not going to stand doing a video. I'll be like, I'm so unfit. I'll be like, give me oxygen, give me oxygen. But anyway, yeah, so it's a great honour for me to do these videos. And I want you to all know, I know who supports me. I know who shares my videos, and I appreciate it. And sometimes I forget to say thank you for the support. This is such a small channel, isn't it? But at the end of the day, I know the few amount of people who do watch these videos appreciate me, and I appreciate you. This isn't just lip service. I mean it. You know, to have even a few people watching these videos is a great buzz. When trolls say to me, you've only got blah, blah, blah subs, or you've only get whatever views I get, right? And there's always this like, I don't care. If only one person was coming in, I tell you what, I'd still be so excited. So anyway, yeah, let's get back to Henry Cavill reprising his role as Superman in Black Adam and Shazam 2. So it's very, look, it's an obvious first step, if you like, before announcing the movie by J.J. Abrams, which I pretty much told you all about earlier this week as well. That's the thing. That's going to happen. The Justice League movie that he's developing as well. Absolutely going to happen. You're just not going to hear these things for a very long time. Now, in terms of Superman, we're talking about a 2022 release. And in terms of the Justice League movie, I'd say no earlier than 2023. So you're talking about 2 to 3 years for all this to happen. But obviously, developing this, I was very angry at the time when they decided to give Superman a rest. But now when I look at it, you've got to look at it from Walter Hamada's point of view. And I do end up sounding like a Walter Hamada fanboy because I think the job, the impossible task he had to turn this franchise around or keep it on a balance, keep it on a level, was impossible, and he did it. But I think the task he had with Superman was to go back to the drawing board, to think about what everybody wants, because as I say, Superman belongs to everyone. It's like all these kind of iconic heroes, whether you're a Doctor Who fan or a Superman fan or a Captain America fan or whatever you're a fan of, this character isn't just your character, and he is because you love him, right? It's like Wonder Woman. We love her. Even before Gal was cast, we loved her. We looked up to her, right? And we all wanted the kind of right person to play her. And a lot of people got upset by Gal's casting. I mean, I just didn't know who she was when she was first announced. I knew she'd been in the Fast and the Furious, but I'd never seen those films. I just literally thought she was holding 3, 2, 1, go, boys, that kind of thing. But it turns out she's a really, really classy lady. She's a great advocate. And I think, she stands on the right side of history in terms of politics as well, which is really, really important and rare for someone of her background as well. And she's fabulous as Wonder Woman. She just gives the part so much class. So we all think we have ownership. So for me, Henry Cavill doing these 2 films, and I don't know how large his role is going to be. I'm going to say this, and this is just kind of a hunch I've got. It's not just going to be a cameo. He's going to play a real, 10, I'd say maybe 20-minute kind of part in both films. I think he will maybe be in Shazam 2 more than he'll be in Black Adam. Look, they introduced him. I mean, the body double for Henry's Superman at the end of Shazam isn't the greatest thing, and they kind of got the costume wrong as well. But that is not very important. And I know some Snyder fans and DCEU released the Snyder Cut fans are always talking about that and making fun of it. But sometimes it's not about the details. The devil is in the details, they say, but not this time. Because the point is, that was his introduction to the Shazam universe because they planned in bringing him in. And now with Shazam 2 confirmed for 2022, that's very exciting news that Henry will be in both movies. And it'll be very I think with Shazam 2, it's obvious what you're going to do with Superman. He's going to be kind of this figure that Shazam can look up to, right? I really think that's important. I mean, after all, he is. I mean, I suppose they're gonna say that it's 2 or 3 years on. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but he's still gonna be kind of a kid. He's still gonna be a teenager, right? So he can be someone Superman will be someone that Shazam will look up to and give these heroic lessons to. So I think that's really exciting. I think that's brilliant, and I can't wait to see this. Superman is an inspiration, not just to us, the fans, and the members of the public in the stories, but to the heroes themselves. So a comic book writer once said that to me. He said, even the heroes in the DC universe look up to Superman. And they do. And I think that's important. He is the number one hero. He's the first. But he's not special because he is the first. He's special because his idea, the idea of Superman, is brilliant. This is a character that's sent from another planet, his own planet that's destroyed. As a baby, he's brought up as a human being. So he may have Kryptonian DNA, but his mentality and thoughts are human. It's like me. My parents are Greek Cypriot, right? But I was born and raised in the UK. So when you hear me talk, I'm British. I think British. British is my mentality, for better or for worse, right? But there was always this kind of interference. Remember who you really are. Remember you're Cypriot. Remember you've got Cypriot blood, but I don't feel Cypriot. And when we used to go on holiday every year, I live in Cyprus now. I never felt that they accepted me as a Cypriot. but obviously the kids at school in the UK didn't accept me as British. So this is why I really looked up at Superman, and I related. When people say Superman's not relatable, I think he's relatable to every single person who might have parents who come from another country, but they were born and raised in another country. That's who Superman is. He's Kryptonian, but he feels human. And I think Smallville is a great kind of the genius of Alan Miles and what they did with that. They really did that kind of thing, that immigrant thing, where he's Kryptonian, but he's totally at first rejecting his Kryptonian nature and his parents, everything. He just wants to be human. He just wants to be normal. He doesn't want to accept who he is. Now, ultimately, he does within all the seasons. Smallville went for 10 seasons, of course. That's why I was offended with what Crisis on Infinite Earths did, because I think Clark got a great arc in Smallville. And they went and said, well, I'm giving up being Superman so I can raise kids. And do you know what's really funny about all of this? Because I'm not putting him down for wanting a family with Lois. There's nothing wrong with wanting a family, right? Kids, family, all that, right? A brilliant thing to aspire to. Some people aspire to different things, right? But the funny thing is about it, that he could actually take blue kryptonite, hold it, right? Do Lois, right? I don't want to be crude, but do Lois, get her pregnant, right? Throw the blue kryptonite away, gets his powers again, he can go back to his everyday work. But no. And this is what they did with Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. Oh, Lois gets pregnant and he has to go, I'll go sit with her and stop being Superman. Retire the cape. Do you imagine Superman retiring the cape? It wouldn't be an easy decision, would it? Right? So, ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going off point. But it's all about Superman today, really, because I'm really excited about this news. You know, Superman's my man. Superman's my boy. I love this character. And especially Henry's Superman, who's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, even in Justice League, which is an absolute cryogenic mess or whatever. Cryogenic? What? Anyway, the film's a mess, right? But his performance when he comes in is brilliant. And imagine they've hacked this guy's lip to pieces with the CG, right? He looks awful. When he smiles, he looks terrible. I mean, I don't know who the people in the VFX for Justice League were, but I tell you what, they obviously didn't like Henry Cavill very much. I'm joking. It wasn't their fault. They were under pressure. The whole problem with Justice League was, right, and moving on to Justice League, is that this was a film. They got rid of, they forced the director out with a vision, right? And then they took his film and they wanted to turn it into something else. Different colour palettes, different tone, a different narrative. You can't do that with an existing movie. It was nuts. Instead of saying, bin that. We don't want to do what he did. Right, Josh, here you are. Here's the clay. Mould what you want. But they didn't do that. And then it became messy. And what us in the Release the Snyder Cut movement have done is absolutely fantastic. Now, I think I've got another picture from this Justice League poster competition that Zach's doing. Let's have a look. I said, if I see any, I'll screenshot them and I'll show them to you on this show. So let's have a look, everyone. Here's Twitter. Is this it? Oh, no, here's it. I think this is the latest one. And this is a really lovely one as well. You've got all the characters there. And, of course, you have John Jones there, Martian Manhunter, which is cool because he is in the Snyder Cut. Or he's supposed to be anyway when Zack finishes off, like, the CG for that. Or, no, he's done the CG. He just needs the actor to be involved as well. So another brilliant entry in the Release the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder version of Justice League poster competition. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. I can't remember who did this. I need to start remembering the names. But as you know, I'm not very good with names. So a beautiful poster. And as I look on my photo album, I see this is an alternative look for Harley Quinn in David Ayer's Suicide Squad movie. Now, this is very interesting because for the final part of the show today, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about what Margot Robbie said about 6 months ago about her Harley Quinn being too male-gazy. And I reacted badly to this, and I think I was wrong to react badly. She's right. She does act like a character in a porn movie. Now, I love her performance. I love Harley in Suicide Squad. She's effective. She works. And she shows all these different, emotions. She shows how fragile she is. And it's a great performance. And it's well written in places. But sexually, you see, for me, Harley Quinn, from her inception, wasn't a sexually promiscuous character, or let's say wearing her horniness, on her skin, if you like. And I think this is what David Ayer and Warner Brothers did. And I can see why they did it, but it's amazing in this day and age of Me Too and Time's Up that this actually happened. I think it's crazy. I really do. And when you think about Carly, and when you think about Harley Quinn, and when you look at her and you think, oh, when you first see her in the animated stuff, right? And she's not sexual at all. She's a bit childish in a way. She's crazy. She's out there. She's a thug. She's a villain. And she only wants one man, and that's the Joker. And when she's not with the Joker within the narrative of any animated series or any graphic novels, she's not interested in other men. She's just going to be a villain. She wants to go back. And she wants to compete with the Joker, as we've seen in the brand new animated series as well. So she only thinks Joker whether she hates the Joker or loves the Joker at that time. So this is why I found it kind of interesting how, she wasn't sexually promiscuous in Suicide Squad, but she certainly had it, it was very powerful. She was seductive. And really, that isn't who Harley Quinn is. As great as Margot was in the first Suicide Squad movie, I think I can see where Margot is coming from. And it's interesting with a few idiots complaining that she's been desexualized. And I think it's not a case of desexualizing her. It's about putting away what they had out there. And I do think what they had to do in the Suicide Squad in a sexual way, and she's not having sex in the film, but we all know what's going on. We all know what's going on and what they were attempting to do with that film. And I do think there's irresponsibility there. There is. And I think when I actually went to see Birds of Prey earlier this week, it was very different. It does take some getting used to seeing her, but she's still the same Harley. She's going through different stuff, and she's made these friends and all that, but it's still Harley Quinn. And it's still a brilliant version, if not a better version, than Harley Quinn. Now, don't get me wrong. I love what they did with her in the Suicide Squad movie. I just feel some of the male gazy stuff, as I say, was a little bit irresponsible. So what do you think? Are you excited about the news that Henry Cavill will reprise his role as Superman in Black Adam and Shazam 2? Because I certainly am. Please comment down below. Please like, share the video, share the channel, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you then.